Imagine you're running a massive business process outsourcing company, a big BPO, right here in the Philippines. You've got your own internal security guards, right? And they are fantastic at managing the day-to-day stuff, checking badges, monitoring the main floors, you name it. But suddenly, you're facing a highly specific threat. Maybe it's some kind of sophisticated night shift physical breach. To handle this, you don't just try to retrain your current guards on the fly. No, you go out and hire a specialized external security agency that already has the exact expertise you need. Well, in the world of Microsoft Security Copilot, we are doing the exact same thing when we acquire and configure partner agents from the security store. We're looking at how we bring in these specialized external tools to handle complex, specific security tasks that go way beyond what's just built into the system out of the box.
So what exactly is a partner agent? Basically, it's just like that external security agency we just talked about. It's an outside expert that you integrate directly into your existing operations to do a very specific job. Now, in Microsoft terms, while Security Copilot comes with some truly incredible built-in agents, the Security Store gives you access to a whole ecosystem of partner-built agents. For example, maybe your security architect needs a highly specialized external threat triage agent. By acquiring this partner agent, you can integrate it seamlessly with your existing Defender data. And why does this matter so much for cloud and AI security? Because honestly, no single platform can anticipate every single niche threat out there. It's impossible. Being able to plug in these specialized partner agents ensures your security posture stays dynamic, adaptable, and hyper-specialized to your exact needs.
Okay, so where do we actually find these experts? You're going to locate them in the Security Store, which is conveniently baked right into the Security Copilot portal. You've got two simple ways to get there. You can just head straight to the Home menu and click on Security Store, or if you happen to be looking at your agent library already, just select Browse More Agents. Easy. Once you're in, it feels exactly like browsing a highly specialized app store. You can search for specific agents and, this is crucial, filter your results dynamically. You can narrow things down by the publisher, the product itself, or even the pricing model. When you click on an agent, you get all the vital details. We're talking a full description of what it does, who published it, how much it's going to cost you, and most importantly, what permissions it needs to operate inside your environment.
Now, here is a really vital concept to grasp, especially if you're prepping for that SC-500 exam: how the billing works. When you use a partner agent, you're actually dealing with two completely separate billing streams. Think of it like this. The first stream is the Security Store subscription. This is essentially the licensing fee you pay directly to the partner just for the right to use their agent. That is managed and billed entirely through the Security Store. Then you've got the second stream, which is your SCU consumption, security compute units. This is the Microsoft compute cost that you rack up every single time that agent actually runs, and that gets billed through your overall Security Copilot capacity. So simply put, you pay the partner to have the tool, and you pay Microsoft for the computing power to run the tool. Make sense?
And understanding that split billing brings us to a major operational trap that security engineers absolutely have to avoid. Listen to this. Removing an agent from Security Copilot does not cancel its Security Store subscription. Let's think back to our BPO analogy. If you tell those external security guards to stop patrolling your building, but you never actually call their corporate office to cancel the contract, guess what? You're still getting a bill at the end of the month. It's the exact same thing here. You have to manage your subscription billing in the Security Store completely separately from your agent operations. If an agent is running frequently, you're paying that fixed subscription fee plus the variable SCU costs based on usage. You've got to factor both of those into your capacity planning so you don't end up with runaway costs for an agent you aren't even using anymore.
Let's actually walk through the acquisition process and see how this all builds out practically. Getting a partner agent is a really straightforward workflow. First, you just find the agent you want in the Security Store and select Get Agent. From there, the path actually splits depending on who made it. If it's a Microsoft agent, the system routes you directly to the Active Agents page, so you can just kick off the setup immediately. Zero external purchasing friction. However, for non-Microsoft agents, the true third-party partner tools, the system is going to route you to the Security Store first. You literally have to go purchase or subscribe to the tool over there. Once that transaction is officially complete, then you return to Security Copilot to finish up the setup.
Now, once you've actually acquired the agent, you might hit a pretty significant roadblock: global administrator approval. Going back to our BPO for a second, you just hired this new external security firm, right? But they can't just walk in off the street and start opening locked doors. The building manager has to explicitly sign off and hand over the master keys. In Microsoft terms, when a partner agent requires access to your tenant-wide product data, stuff like Microsoft Defender, Sentinel, Intune, or Entra, the setup button is actually going to be disabled. A global administrator must step in and approve those required permissions.
This is an absolutely critical security safeguard. It ensures that any tenant-wide data accessed by an external third-party agent is explicitly authorized at the highest possible level of your organization.
So, the million-dollar question is how we handle this global administrator requirement securely. You might be thinking, hey, I'll just make my security architect a permanent global admin so they can approve agents whenever they need to. Absolutely not. No way. For anyone tracking towards the SC-500 exam, this is a foundational security engineering principle. You do not maintain a standing global admin assignment. Instead, you use Privileged Identity Management, or PIM. PIM lets you grant just-in-time access. So the administrator requests the global admin role, they get approved for a short, specific window of time, they perform the agent approval, and then, bam, that activation expires. This keeps your environment strictly aligned with the principle of least privilege. You only hold the keys when you are actually opening the door.
Because of this strict approval requirement, setting up an agent is almost always a team effort. Let's quickly trace the exact handoff workflow for Security Copilot owners and contributors. When you, acting as a contributor, begin the agent setup, you're going to see a banner clearly flagging that Global Administrator approval is required. And yep, your setup button will be completely grayed out. But Microsoft makes handling this extremely easy. You don't have to write out a long, complicated email explaining what needs to happen. You just select Copy Link right there in the interface. Then, you simply share that specific link with your Global Administrator. You're basically just handing them the exact pre-filled paperwork they need to sign off on the new tool.
Okay, let's step into the global administrator's shoes for a minute and look at their side of this workflow. The global admin receives that link and opens it. Or alternatively, they can just log in, navigate over to Active Agents, and select Set Up on the agent themselves. But here's the thing. Their job isn't just to blindly click Approve. They need to really scrutinize this. They need to carefully review the agent's description, understand exactly what triggers it, and verify the specific permissions it's requesting across the tenant. Once they're fully satisfied that the integration is safe, they hit Start Approval and follow the prompts to grant the necessary permissions. The minute that approval is done, the internal handover happens. The process goes right back to the original owner or contributor, and they can finally assign an identity to the agent, configure the trigger, and wrap up the initial setup.
But hold on, we might not be completely done just yet. Enter the concept of dependent plugins. To use our BPO analogy one last time, the external security agency is hired, the building manager gave them the master key to the building, but guess what? They still need the specific access codes to the secure server rooms to actually do their job. In Microsoft Security Copilot, even after a partner agent is acquired and fully approved, some agents require a specific plugin to be configured before they can actually get to work. These are called dependent plugins. They're essentially the specific connections or credentials that the agent needs to reach out to external data sources.
Configuring these dependent plugins is the final technical step of the whole process. After you finish the main setup, if your agent happens to have a dependent plugin, you'll need to go down to the prompt bar and click Manage Sources. Right there in that menu, you'll spot the dependent plugin. You'll probably notice its status says Enabled because, well, the agent itself is active, but it won't be fully configured yet. You select that plugin, and this is where you hand over the specific keys it needs. This could be an API key from the partner, or maybe a specific workspace connection URL. Once you input those credentials, you just hit Save, and boom, your partner agent is finally fully integrated and ready to start hunting down threats.
Are your partner agents properly licensed across both subscription and compute costs? And is their access to your tenant data governed strictly by just-in-time PIM approvals?